Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to look at Cupcake Polish's Magic Mushroom. This has been on my wish list for a while, and then I saw the notice for the birthday sale and thought, alright. I decided I'd better buy it now because I had had it on that list for a while and I always get a little bit worried that it will get retired or I don't know, another idiotic tariff will get applied. You know, the normal things these days. So in that sale, I grabbed 3 different polishes that I had had on my wish list. There's a part of me that wishes I had stuck around for the PPU Rewind shade, but I just felt like it was going to be a little too close to Dinosaur Loser, which I already own, so doesn't mean it's not beautiful, just means I may already own it. Now, my application on this day was not fantastic. You're going to notice that my application has some bubbles in it. We were not running the AC because it was just one of those borderline hot days, you know, when it's like 28 degrees in here and you think, no, I can tolerate this. But that also meant it was very humid in the house because I just live in a place that is very humid in the summers. So I did get a couple of bubbles because of that, but I would not blame the polish. I think any polish would probably have bubbled under those circumstances. But I do also want to note how much coverage I got in just one coat. I think someone who is more careful than I or who had shorter nails could certainly have stopped in one. Now, the other thing I want to note is that I think the polish may have thickened up just a little bit in the mail. I do my best to get to the mailbox as soon as things are delivered, but obviously I can only work with the information I have, and these ones were a bit warm when I picked them up. I do my best not to open my bottles for a full 24 hours, but I think this had thickened just a little bit. You are seeing the polish applied in its original state, but I did thin it after I applied it to my nails, knowing that in the future I would want it just a little bit thinner than this. The other thing I will say about this is it is quite a metallic finish. It has a very fine shimmer, which creates that very lustrous finish. And I found that when I was sloppy with capping my tips, if I had too much polish on my brush, things like this, you could tell because the lines of the shimmer were indeed disrupted. I could see this in person, but when I go back to look at my footage, it's not as noticeable there. So I would suggest either not capping your tips on the final coat or capping your tips first if you tend to be a thicker painter. I think if you're a normal or thin painter, this is not going to affect you as much. But as you can see in the footage, even though I felt like my lines were disrupted a little bit because of capping my tip, you really just can't tell in the footage. So this might just be a thing I can see in person. Nobody else is going to be able to tell. Now that we're out in the sun, you can see how bright this is. The base color of this looks to me like something between a hot pink and a magenta. It is a pink with a slight purple lean, and the shimmer seems to run from red through to orange through to gold. And when that interacts with the base, what you get is a strawberry color through a fiery orange red. When we first see it, it looks like a neon strawberry color to me, and as I move over to the left, you can see it flash through the orange and gold shimmer, which makes it look like a fiery orange red. Absolutely beautiful. I came for the purpley pink red and was thrilled to see the fiery orange. I think you can see that hot pink to magenta base peeking out here and there when I lower my fingers. But that movement from pink through to an orange red is just so amazing. I couldn't have predicted that it would look so good. And my camera is not blowing anything out. It really does look like this. In the shade, this polish is what I call a shiny sports car color. We start out with that strawberry and orange color. One of my problems with filming between the houses is that I often pick up the color of the bricks. And so sometimes I'll get an orange flash that isn't in the polish. In this particular case, there is an orange shift to the polish, so we're just getting a bit more orange than actually exists. But it is absolutely present. I think you have a good idea of the amount of gold and orange from the previous shot, but here the shimmer is shifting without being so luminescent. It's much more metallic in this lighting. This was part of my effort to collect more pinks for my collection. Now inside we don't have any brick walls to skew the color. You can see the strawberry into fiery red again. The artificial light on the left makes it look more of a true red into that orange red. We've sort of dispensed with the strawberry color. You don't really see any of the base of the magenta or hot pink, if you will, over by that particular light source. By the window, we get a little of that pinkish red. This polish definitely turned out to be everything I hoped for from the photos and more. It had that vivid strawberry color, but also came with that vermilion shift that I wasn't necessarily expecting. All around thrilled with this one. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can slowly melt myself into an aqueous solution and store myself carefully in a mason jar on the pantry shelf. Please enjoy a clip of the fireflies in the backyard. Oh my gosh, my stomach will not shut up.